Hey guys, it's Matt again from Anti Hedge. Today I'm here to bring you another educational video. But first, before we continue, I just gotta say one thing. This is not financial advice. It shouldn't be misconstrued as such, and I don't accept any liability for any losses you incur. With that in mind, you should be able to enjoy this educational video. What are we going to be talking about today? I'm going to tell you right now. Today we are talking about something called Xinfin. And what is Xinfin? Xinfin is basically a distributed ledger technology similar to Ripple with smart contract interoperability that is basically giving Ripple and a few of the other guys a run for their money. And the first thing I'm going to notice when I'm looking at it from a coin market cap perspective is it's already pulling a double bottom. So when it's pulling a double bottom, that's usually a pretty good indicator on a technical level that the price is getting ready to take off, because you're going to have a few accumulation zones where it'll form these two large craters, and on basically the upswing of the second crater is where you're going to see that large movement, maybe with one slight pullback. And that's just me talking from a purely technical perspective of what we could be seeing in terms of price action. Could be another 30% to be had on Xinfin, considering that the people in my group got to see it at around 7 cents. It's at about 12 cents right now. 30% from here, I could realistically say it could hit 20 cents relatively soon, maybe even 24 to 25 cents. Just considering the trajectory and the amounts that it's been moving over the last little while. And the thing that's interesting is that it's garnered no actual mainstream attention. Meanwhile, its market cap has been growing heavily and steadily over the last few years. And it started in 2017, 2018. That's when the ICO launched. And from there, it's just been steadily growing. What's interesting is it's only rank 69. Beautiful number. And it's already been integrated as one of R3 Corda's main coin / blockchains. In fact, basically what R3 Corda is, just so I can say, is it's the blockchain technology division for banks and government, meaning that it's already being integrated into one of like the main staples of the government's hand in blockchain and distributed ledger technology. So that's pretty interesting because it hasn't really been mentioned anywhere, but it seems to be making some pretty big leaps and bounds in the crypto market, right? Basically, Corda is just backed by the world's largest banks, and Xinfin is basically become the settlement, like the form of settlement on the Corda network, which is, government blockchain. If I'm correct, Xinfin was actually the leading token of value on the Corda network, thanks to the crypto bridge that they recently established. So now they've been formed as a utility as well as a main form of settling like value on their network. So it's pretty interesting because they're basically doing something very similar to Ripple and Stellar, but they're basically succeeding in a different way. Especially now considering Ripple's in court, and there's all kinds of sketchy things happening all over. But Ripple might actually win their court case, but we'll save that for another video. Now, I mentioned Xinfin. They're on R3 Corda. They're basically becoming and have become the main settlement coin on their network. They also have a few pretty interesting partnerships, and one of the first ones I wanted to mention was they are basically partnered with Blacktier Solutions, who are partnered with Michigan University as well as Berkeley University, which is two universities, and they're basically using those young individuals to develop this project further in an open source, I guess, ecosystem of people building on code. It's interesting because a lot of people, though, like you look at something like Berkeley and University of Michigan, like those are pretty decent names to have behind you, especially considering that they are young people who are building this project. And that's usually what we want to see on a lot of things like this, is that there's an active community. And if your active community is students, at the very least, it's the young people that are forming and shaping the world of the future that are going to be involved with these kinds of projects. You wouldn't want someone in their 70s or 80s developing these projects because they don't understand it. So it only makes sense that the younger generation would be handling that. Another thing that I've read online, and it's actually kind of interesting, is apparently Ripple and Xinfin have a connection. And they're saying that there could be potentially some form of standard, but we'll save that for another time because I haven't fully checked the validity of that statement. But it is something that should be brought into consideration. Because if there's a conspiracy saying that Ripple could take over the banks and become a globalized currency and huge. If that is the case, and this is technically a confirmed connection to Ripple, then if Ripple does well, technically Xinfin will do just as well because they'll be together. So something to keep in mind when you're looking at something like Ripple as an investment. The usual rule of thumb when you're investing is, okay, if you believe in something, believe in the things that go with it as well. And that's one of the secrets to actually, investing. If you believe, for example, that marijuana stocks are going to do well, then you're going to want to buy some stocks in rolling paper because people want to roll it. So that's just something to keep in mind. Another thing too that I noticed, I go on the website. It's a very nice looking website, very well maintained. You can see that the person who actually created this website actually cared. And websites are a big thing when you're looking at a project that hasn't really been acknowledged very much, simply because when you go on a website and you just see one button that you can't even click, you're not going to want to park your money there. It's just not a good idea, usually, at least in 99.999% of scenarios. So a good website is something you're going to want to look at whenever you're doing any research on anything. And another thing, too, that I wanted to mention is that, considering that it has a market cap of about $1.5 billion, for it to double in price, it would be roughly about $3 billion. And that's not really outrageous considering how fast it's been climbing up the ranks, as well as the fact that it's being utilized by, R3 Corda, which is government blockchain solutions. And in that list of people that are involved with R3 Corda is Swift. And the interesting thing about Swift is Swift are the guys who do basically the largest money movements globally. So 1.25 quadrillion dollars in money movements. It's definitely something to keep in mind when you see any company partnered with them. Once again, this isn't financial advice, but you should definitely keep this one on your radar if you were looking at Ripple or Stellar, because it's basically the same type of technology and it's based around the same partners. So if you believe in one or the other, why not check this one out as well? So once again, guys, I'm going to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely check out our other videos so you could get your points or whatever clarified. And another thing I wanted to mention is beware of scammers in the comments. Do not click on any links, and no one from Anti Hedge will ever approach you asking for any of your private keys or any of your financial information. Have a great day.